After a motorcycled melodrama and some slow motion doves, Mission Impossible 3 decides it's time to get serious. J.J. Abrams injects emotional stakes, next-gen gadgets, and an actual plot with heart. It's Ethan Hunt versus one of the most chilling villains in the franchise. But does this spy thriller go rogue in the right direction, or does it get lost? Get it? Lost. Because it J.J. Abrams. Oh, man, that's a stretch.
That's a bad robot. What?
Harry. Okay, yeah. Mission Impossible 3. Let's do the quick plot summary. So Ethan Hunt comes out of retirement to rescue a captured agent and faces off with a ruthless arms dealer, Owen Davian. Or Davian. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
His fiancée caught in the crossfire and a mystery object known only as the rabbit's foot at stake.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan must complete a near impossible series of missions across the globe to stop global catastrophe.
The rabbit's foot. Yeah, I forgot what that one was.
Rabbit's foot. Yes.
So Rotten Tomatoes, Gary?
Do it.
71 and 69 by the fans. So Abrams made a difference in this one, I think.
We started an upward trajectory here.
Yeah, and this one, I will admit, I think this one really smokes a little better. It's a better film.
This is where, and this is what we kind of I alluded to it in an earlier episode, but I feel like this is where it takes off.
Yeah.
And whether by coincidence, we talked about this before, whether by coincidence or not, that's when Simon Pegg came on board too. So I feel like he could take a little credit if he wanted to, even though I don't really think it has much to do with him other than he definitely adds a comic relief to it that
he does.
Probably had been lacking to that point. I don't think there was a lot of humor to it.
Yeah.
Look, J.J. Abrams took it over, and I thought he did a fantastic job kind of setting this in the right direction.
And he stays involved through most, if not the rest of the series, I believe, as a producer.
Yeah, he is a co-writer on this one, and I do think that he goes on to be like just in the production space after that.
It's like they bring him on board for this franchise, and he really adds to it. I think credit should go to him for that.
Yeah, I think he did a fantastic job. This movie opens. They started getting into the cold open kind of thing at this point. I thought that was very cool. This is the one that opens with Ethan Hunt strapped to a chair and his wife strapped in the chair opposite him, and her getting threatened and tortured in front of him. And then it cuts to the title, and then it starts backwards to kind of fill you in on everything that happens to that point. And there's some great misdirect and stuff in this movie as well. So
this is where they start confusing old Andy here. I need a program to keep up with what's going on, but I enjoyed the ride a lot on this one.
Yeah.
My quick notes, Gary, are real simple ones. First of all, I love Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
His loss was really, I don't know if we realized it when he died, but like there's an absence in the cinema world without him. And he's just so good.
Yeah.
I wrote, this movie moves great. Like it's just paced, and I felt it was just like a roller coaster. It just kept going. I was like, I'm in. Like I never had a lull in this one, where the first two I kind of was like, a handful of times I'd check my phone or I'd walk out to the kitchen and I wouldn't like pause the movie. I'd just like, well, let me go get a couple pretzels.
You make a good point. Yeah. There's something about the action that starts from this point forward in the movies where the action scene itself isn't just one scene. It's a lot of different action sequences paced throughout.
Yeah.
So just when you kind of think things get to a certain point, and then it's a whole new problem develops or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a whole new set of action that comes with it. I think this is where that sort of takes off, and I think that's good. And they do have the sort of dramatic moments to kind of bring it back down and give you a point to catch your breath before.
Yeah, but it is like a roller coaster ride to me. Like I was like, man, I'm really you like, I need a minute here. Like do something.
Yeah.
You put a mask on or something.
Yeah.
I wrote Abrams. I thought did a really really great job directing this film, but not the same as John Woo, but I I don't know, probably better, you know.
I mean, I think so. Like I said, after seeing 2, I was worried that that was
Yeah,
the end of the franchise, and
I
that
mean,
when this
I know
it's like
that's all.
6 years before
Yeah,
this comes out from the
I know it's all subjective, because there's people that are
sure.
gonna love John Woo and people that are gonna love Abrams. I get it,
Yeah.
but from this kind of just layperson who doesn't have a real loyalty to either one of those guys, I thought Abrams did a really. I find anymore that I do enjoy a lot of what J.J. Abrams does.
Yeah.
When I see stuff that he's done, I'm like, I kind of like this guy's work. So good on him. I thought the story was good. It didn't. I mean, it's far fetched, but and
Obviously.
they did finally in this one start to talk about IMF. So
Yes. Yeah.
um, got some answers to work because I kept going like, I don't understand this. And
One of the things, it talks about him kind of training agents, and that's kind of what Carrie Russell's character was in the beginning, where he goes to rescue her.
mhm.
It does talk about him, but I'm curious at
Because
what point.
is
Like,
he
I
out
don't.
of the field at this point?
He's out of
Right?
the field at the time. At that point in time, he kind of
Okay.
gets sucked back in
Yeah.
when he finds out that she's, you know, um, captured. But one of the questions I had that I'd never looked up, and I should have before even bringing it up, but I wondered if the IMF team in the TV series was the same concept as in these films, which at some point you find out that every agent has been given a choice at some point in their life. They were going to get into a lot of trouble, but because they had certain skills, they were recruited and they
Yeah.
could wipe that off the map to become an agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that picks up at some point. It's explained. I don't know if it is in this one or not, but that would have been a really interesting thing to know from the very beginning. I think just a little detail about that, and maybe it's there and you just miss it. I missed it,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
but I thought that I really like that concept. That it gives it sort of another layer to why they're doing these things to begin with.
Yeah, it seems to me, and I say it all the time, and I mean it as I'm kind of a simpleton. I would have liked in movie one just a breakdown of what the IMF is
Yeah,
and why they get show the CIA and the FBI struggling with a case and going, you know what, this needs to go to the IMF, and then that gives us some context, so to
they
speak.
could have even done. They
And
could have even done an A team opening.
yeah, yeah.
And just say some sort of over
No,
voiceover.
voiceover, yeah, absolutely. And I know it's just kind of dumb, but that's just how I feel. This is just one guy's opinion that no one's probably listening to.
so the major heist in this one is the Vatican infiltration. This is when they have to kidnap Davian, however you pronounce it. I don't remember how it's pronounced now. I just have it written down. They have to kidnap him during a high-profile event. So if you remember, there's a whole tunnel thing that they set up so they can get into the tunnels to get to him, where Tom Cruise masks himself as him. Okay. It's an interesting little the way they did everything in this one. There's some misdirection and trying to get. This was another one that brought in a nice little again with the gadgets.
What was the mission they were trying to do? What was, I forget. I think you said it, but I just blanked.
This is the rabbit's foot one.
The rabbit's foot, yeah.
So they're capturing this guy, and they want to become him to get the rabbit's foot, and then he ends up escaping for reasons. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it.
Right.
In this case, there are quite a few masks and misdirects in this one. I don't want to give the one away in this one because I think there's a really, really good one in this one. Then there's the bridge ambush, which is a pretty intense scene when they steal him back, basically. And then that's when, of course, he goes after Ethan Hunt's wife. And but so you've got I think only real 2 unmaskings in this one, but there's an implied one. But this is the first time that they actually show a mask being made, which was cool to see. And I think that might have been one of those things where J.J. Abrams or somebody was like, we need to start showing, giving some plausible way that these things are getting made, so you could buy into it a little bit more.
A little foreshadowing of the onslaught of 3D printing. So
right. The only other thing is the rabbit's foot is never explained in this film. You never really know what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, that is a thing that's is intentionally ambiguous. I mentioned Simon Pegg comes into it and actually adds the comic relief, and it was great to see him basically be through the rest of the franchise.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I think that's pretty much my notes on this. I don't really see anything else.
I don't have much more.
It was a good film, though. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I did too. And clearly the fans did. I mean, you can see the upward swing. It's really starting to pick back up.
Right.
So
real quick, I will tell you that other movies of this year, since we're doing that thing now, Andy.
Sorry.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Quick note, I've never seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
That might be another series that we watch.
Okay.
That one made $1 billion.
$1 billion?
$1 billion worldwide. The Da Vinci Code was in second place.
Greatest book I ever read. Sorry. What?
Ice Age, The Meltdown, Casino Royale. There's your Bond in there. Night at the Museum, Cars, X-Men, The Last Stand. In 8th place is Mission Impossible 3. It made $398 million worldwide. Superman Returns, and then Happy Feet. One of the reasons that they are positing that it could be that it didn't do quite as well, even though it was definitely received much better from critics, was because this happened to be his press tour where Tom Cruise did the Oprah couch jump thing, and then he was part of a Scientology promo that got put out there, and they think that overshadowed a lot of.
Oh yeah,
look, I just have to say about all of that stuff. I don't care about these people's personal lives. I don't care about all that stuff. What does that have to do with the movie? The movie's great. I know some people have a problem with Tom Cruise. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I can, I can't always do it, but a lot of times I can successfully pull the art from the artist and separate the two in my mind.
Absolutely.
And I am a huge fan of Tom Cruise's movies. So for me, none of that bothered me that much. I know that if I go see one of his films, I'm going to leave happy.
For the most part, yeah. I mean,
barring Mission Impossible 2. But I'm just saying.
I mean, there's some exceptions. I was looking up some of his career, and I think I sent you that link here. There's 45 of his films ranked, or his 40.
Yeah.
You got to. There's stuff in like Far and Away that was just kind of like
I liked Far and Away.
I've never seen that. You had Eyes Wide Shut, which was kind of a weird film.
It's a weird movie, but I like the movie.
But then this is the same guy who's done, A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Days of Thunder. He makes great summer flicks, man.
Yeah.
So if you don't, I don't know. I'm with you. Like, just put that aside. If you don't like Tom Cruise, put it aside, man. These are some fun movies.
Yeah.
Again, the great popcorn movies, man. You get a bowl of popcorn, sit back, and
before next thing you know,
5 hours of your life is gone. Gary, let's wrap this up. Let's get on to number 4.
Thanks, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Make Andy happy. Oops, shoot, I never point the right way. Make this guy happy.
Horns up.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.
Bye.
Andy and Gary are coming to you with a new movie they like to review. Whether they liked it or you will soon see by their rating amounts of poo or TP. They rate things different than other shows. The higher the amount, the more it blows. Flick flops are unfiltered reviews of all of the movies we chose to view. We love some and other we've simply hated. You can find out by how much we rate it.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.